For this week's Chat with the Chief, Mitchell is talking with one police officer in Kansas, Illinois.
He explains how policing in a small town is really like. Take a look.
Welcome back to another Chat with the Chief episode. I'm Mitchell Rife. I'm filling in for Taylor Mitchell today, though we're joined by Kansas, Illinois police officer Doug Cochran. Doug, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Of course. So talk to me a little bit about your background with law enforcement, where that kind of got started, and the years kind of leading up to now.
Well, law enforcement was always an interest of mine. Currently, I've been with the Kansas Police Department, matter of fact, starting my 11th year. So it's been a great experience, great chief, great agency, and been very community-minded. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come up and talk.
11th year. Congratulations with law enforcement.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about your start getting into law enforcement. I'm sure that that's a big topic of conversation with any officer. Well,
that's true. But before I got into law enforcement, I had my own design build business and decided that law enforcement was a calling of mine. And the current chief the chief at the time, Chief Votary, offered me a position, sent me to the academy, and the rest is history. Been with the agency ever since.
I think a lot of people look at law enforcement and maybe paint this picture of what they expect law enforcement to be. What's something that, from the other side, that you think maybe you want to relay to the community?
Well, when I got into law enforcement, I never really knew or thought of the process of educating the community. And that's really an interest and a passion of mine. I go out and I teach human trafficking awareness to educators, to church groups, to whomever will listen across the state. I also do active shooter training for schools, as well as drug awareness programs. So getting out, doing the community policing, meeting the public, educating the residents of Edgar County and any other of the counties is really something that I think law enforcement really needs to get more active in.
You think that transparency factor kind of adds maybe more momentum to the trust that the community has with those in law enforcement?
I do, because when I first started doing this, I realized that, when I go to especially events with younger children, every once in a while you get this, hey, be good or he will arrest you, which I always hated that saying from the kids. But now I find that the kids become a lot more receptive, more friendly, more trustworthy of law enforcement, which is really what we want. We want them to think that, hey, if I have a problem, I have a concern, go to law enforcement, and that's what I want. But I'm all about the safety of the children and their families, and that's what I'm here to pass that along.
Of course. I imagine they're more inquisitive nowadays than kind of standoffish towards officers.
They are, and especially in some of the programs that I teach, the human trafficking awareness especially. I have folks come up to me and go, I did not realize what I had seen. So it's something that I really enjoy, helping bring light to a lot of issues with the community.
What's something kind of going forward, goals maybe for Kansas, Illinois Police right now?
Well, currently, the chief we have is very supportive of community outreach. He is very interested in our agency growing and being able to be out there and, like I said, educate the public.
It's amazing. Awesome. Is there any last things that you want the community to kind of know, just in general, about policing, in a local community, maybe versus a bigger community?
Well, that's just it. Usually, when you see on the news, it's a larger agency, multiple officers on duty. Our agency, being a small community, most of the time we have one officer, maybe two at the most, and we have to rely upon, the community to inform us, help us, and our local school district, we have a full-time school resource officer, which we're very lucky. Edgar County only has the one. And like I said, we're just very proactive in our agency.
Officer Cochran, we're going to continue this conversation over on our WCI 3 Plus app, but thanks so much for coming here on the morning show.
Thank you for the opportunity. Anytime.